I'm just embarrassed today, everyone. It's November the 3rd, and I've just found out there's a spirit that has a fetish with bananas. And realistically, not just one banana, as we know, even one banana tree has like a hand, and each hand has like 12 to like 15 or 20 fingers on it. So it's extra creepy for us. And then that banana tree has like, 20 of these things just packed on top of it. Yeah, this tree spirit really loves bananas, and we wonder what the fetish is with it, and we wonder what type of spirits actually do these things. And as we know what tree spirits really are, if we look into it, they're calling themselves nymphs, which I thought when I looked it up, it was like a nymphomaniac, younger, or like really sexual beings of a whole. So I wanted to look more into it and why maybe it may have made sense to what I'm looking at or whatever, and how perverted this being actually is. If it has to haunt these trees throughout its life, I'll release the name right now. It's called the Nang Tani, which I'm sorry if I've said a word wrong throughout this video. Like I say in every other video where I have something that is quite of the niche or of a different language, I'm just not going to say it correctly. And it's like, it's not like that I don't want to, but I just don't speak those languages. It's a female spirit of Thai folklore. According to folk tradition, the ghost appears as a young woman that haunts banana trees. Specifically, the banana is the Musa balbisiana, known in Thai language as the Klauai Tani, and that's about as good as I can actually say it. And why I wanted to look up these banana trees specifically as well is because what size are these bananas, and like what is with the fetish of them? What type of idea does this spirit have when it does come to the banana trees itself? And maybe it means like some type of support for them. My idea with this, when it's haunting banana trees, my thought is that in the main one, to be a little bit funny, I guess, is the banana trees they're big, like they're like giant plantain ones with like massive seeds inside of them, the size of teeth. These trees are known to actually hybridize with other banana trees and make fruit that's actually edible, compared to the one that you wouldn't want to eat from this tree itself, which is the Musai bulbisiana tree. And if you eat this banana, you're going to chew into like one of the most massive seeds that you've ever seen, and you'll probably break teeth. Maybe that's why it's haunted. This lady may have bit into one a little too extra hard and like cracked her teeth open. They bled. Who knows? Back in the day, maybe people were smarter than we think and they cracked them open. And why is this lady haunting banana trees? We know they come in like fingers and like bunches. They come in hands of like 12 to 15 fingers. And what she's doing with these fingers, we want to know. Spirit also comes from Cambodian folklore and from the Lao. It's a popular tradition there to like speak about her. So I guess that's something that does happen. The legend of this ghost is that it inhabits clumps of wild banana trees, popularized, represented as a beautiful woman wearing a green traditional Thai costume. So yeah, a young person. Obviously that has a good way of just looking as a person that would feel like the genes progressively could encourage the growth of society as a whole. As we go back and we look up the word nymph, then we will realize nymph is really talking about generally regarded as personifications in natures with female deities. So yeah, you can see like nature is beautiful, then this person must be beautiful, and then that's when we see this person haunting the trees. These trees are also seen as sacred in a way because this lady is haunting them, coming out of them. Maybe they sometimes pretend they're trees as well. If you look into it a little bit more, the Nang Tani also represent themselves as these trees overall. We may think that they're part of those trees as a whole. So yeah, people go over there like monks, and others will represent and give thanks to the tree itself by giving it totems and such to make it feel welcome and appreciated in its own community, that it would have been there anyways probably because it's been there like the beginning of time. So yeah, a lot of people are treating this tree as sacred, and often the locals will go around with like big ribbons and like bands of silk and wrap it around the tree to just give appreciation to it and to say don't cut it down. Like, this isn't something that is old. Like, history repeats itself in that way. We see people going around in the 70s, 60s, 80s, going around with their hands out holding hands and hugging that tree, right? So this is something that is showing appreciation for nature itself, and that's what the spirit does, is appreciate nature as a whole. There has been someone making a lot of support for this through a book called Nang Tani, and that is by Lee Franklin. Lee Franklin has made many books, and a lot of them are horror books, and a lot of people love the books. They actually say in one of them, saying that Nang Tani, She Takes Her Vengeance in Blood by Lee Franklin is a badass story about sexual violence and bloody revenge. So when we think about a scary book or like something like gruesome, this might be one of them if you like terrifying. This tree spirit only comes out, this tree nymph, only comes out at night in the moonlight to show their self in front of other people when it makes sense to them. Now, the spirit itself is known to glow with like a fluorescent green color, have jet black hair, as within the Thai people they generally do, and from a fruit tree that is well known in Thailand. They say that the spirit has lips that are similar to, her lips have the red color of a ripe ivory gourd, which is known as the scarlet gourd or the tindora or the kawaii fruit in Thailand. So now you can see, if you look that up, why that person would be something to represent the Thailand people. As we know, a lot of them, I wouldn't say generally look the same, but they look similar. And this lady has made clothing out of the banana tree itself, and they understand that the banana tree has been there for a while, and maybe that's why the spirit has been there, just saying hi and seeing the area as sacred as a whole, with the energy that came out of her. The anima from the trees have a good feeling or a good vibe with this lady. If you may, you can take it as, or take it go. Their leaves are commonly used in Thailand to wrap locally produced sweets, and the inflorescence for the treatment of ulcers, and that's pretty cool. Yeah, treatment of ulcers and keeping stuff safe away from dirt, just generally staying away from plastic use, which most of society should turn back to. Like, it's really easy to get leaves off of a tree and then make something out of it to make sure that there's nothing touching your food, particularly dirt, because we know that dirt is not for us to live in. We have food that comes out of dirt, then we wash it, and then we eat it. Sometimes we even boil it. Cool though, I thought that was really nice to learn a little bit more about today. Some maybes that I thought about the spirit might be the spirit protecting people from eating the seeds, because you might break a teeth. Like, these seeds are pretty big. The spirit may be protecting the original trees in the area, which resides from becoming maybe hybridized trees. It just really respects those other trees. They are used for many uses, particularly clothing being an important part of society in many places. Maybe the spirit has a general attachment, knowing that these trees actually take care of many communities around them. For examples, what they are used for. They say the lady is used to like scare people and prevent like sexual violence and such, which is really awesome as well. They just pay respects to people and such. Yeah, deities are most likely people that have died and like passed over. A lot of people believe in that type of spiritism. How would we assume there's something rare of putting cloth or like coins around something, and the value that this really, it's nothing new. These ideas are really cool and they really speak with many people. I wouldn't say that we should be really terrified of this, and I would say that with a lot of stuff that I do look into and upload onto YouTube, which you can check out my other videos at any time, because they let people and allow them to have an open mind and understand that there might be different ideas and intentions when actually working with your spirit itself and giving that to something else. The animism within everything, the animism of yourself, the entity that you are. Yeah, the hybridization of this banana tree is quite infatuating. Maybe that's something the banana tree does that this tree spirit likes. It loves bananas, obviously, and can't get enough of them. And I feel the banana is just a part of Thailand tradition. Like millions of people eat them a year, so like nothing wrong with that. Keep on eating bananas.